Hello, welcome. You're listening to Shavon Lindley TV from Women Evolution, and we are joined here today at La Valencia Hotel in La Jolla, California. I don't know if you can see the beautiful ocean behind us. We tried very hard to set this up so that you could see it. The beautiful place that we're at, but I am so excited to be here with you today and the guests that we have, because I can't even believe you're spending your time with me today. I feel so grateful that you're going to do this. But if you don't know who this is just yet, you're about to find out. So we are here with Treger Strasberg. She is the CEO of Humble Design. And if that name or face does not ring familiar to you, go to Yahoo Finance right now and you will see their organization being featured on the front page as we speak. And if you're not in front of the computer right now, but you love the Today Show, check them out on Sunday morning. They'll be airing your segment on Sunday morning at 6:30 San Diego, 8:30 any other time zone. Why that early here? But
early risers.
So I'm excited to introduce you to her. Actually native San Diegan.
Yep, grew up here.
That's how we were able to get connected, from colleagues that you went to school with who were like, she's in town, you got to interview her on your show. And luckily we were able to snag a spot because you've already had an interview this morning. You've got lots of other stuff going on here this afternoon because a huge announcement came out today.
Yeah.
And it's in regards to your brand new partnership with U-Haul.
That's right.
And also happens to be on the day of your 15th anniversary with Humble Design.
Shout out to Rob.
Oh my goodness, how incredible.
Yeah.
So we're going to tell you, if you don't know what Humble Design is all about, we're going to tell you a little bit about that right now as well. And what we're really going to dig into, because what you're doing, we could talk for 3 hours around the impact that you're making with your organization. But specifically for our Raising Leaders, you know, I interview a lot of executives in the corporate space, emerging female leaders, but really what you've done with this organization is from the ground up, from a place of pure passion, for pure desire to change the future for the homeless community within Detroit, right, primarily.
Now the country.
And now, with your partnership with U-Haul, now for the country.
Right.
And so the small little dream and small little thing that you did out of, right, the back of your car, your garage,
absolutely,
with a girlfriend, right?
Mm-hmm.
To now serving over almost your 700th family,
right,
where you've been able to furnish their home. Right? They're coming out of homelessness, they're getting their very first home, and most of these individuals are walking into their property, and even though they finally get this home, it's empty.
And they're sleeping on the floor.
Yeah. So tell me about how did you discover that for the first time?
So I had moved to Detroit from Miami. My husband had followed a job there, and we ended up moving there in 2008. And I really wanted to keep up my skills in the workforce, so I started volunteering for a nonprofit doing graphic design and advertising. And I met a woman there who was working there who had fallen on hard times. She told me that she had moved into a homeless shelter the night before with her 2 kids, and that broke my heart. But what really bothered me is when, after she found housing, I went to go visit her in her housing and saw that her children were sleeping on the floor in little nests, because they had left in the middle of the night with no means to move their stuff from one place to another. They had had a terrible year. She was a victim of domestic violence, and she just didn't have the ability to take her stuff with her. So they were very happy to be out of the homeless shelter, but they were sleeping on the floor, and that broke my heart. So I started asking around. I'd only been in town for a few weeks, but I started asking around who had stuff to put into this woman's home. Excess. I mean, you can, in your back of your mind right now, you think of all the stuff in your linen closet that you're not using, or stuff that's in your garage, or
the extra bedroom set that I don't need anymore, that I replaced and I'm trying to sell, or whatever.
You're not unusual. Every person in America has this in their head right now that's watching this, is saying, oh, I have stuff that I don't use. So instead of it going to somewhere that's going to be resold for a program that you don't really understand, Humble Design gives it directly to the family in need, like we did with the very first family. We brought it over to her house, and then instead of just plopping furniture on her, we decorated the home. And what we found that gave that family a sense of pride and dignity and a sense of belonging and connection with the furniture. And she is still in that same home since 2008.
Wow.
And she actually was a board member for a very long time. And
Goosebumps.
she's an amazing individual. So we thought there's got to be other people who are doing this, and we want to donate all this excess furniture that we've collected to other organizations that are doing what we're doing. Because we don't know anything about nonprofit work. We were just two girls in a pickup truck. So we called 9 places, 9 homeless shelters, and we said, here's the rules. Cannot be resold. Has to be given to a family in need directly, and they're not responsible for transporting it, and it has to be delivered with love. You can't just be like, here's a dinette set, here's a couch, here's a chair, have at it. It has to be delivered with some kind of care and love. And so all 9 phone calls ended the same way, which was, oh wow, that's a really big hole in the system here, you should do that. Click. And I was like, what just happened? What's going on? So my friend Anna Smith and I were like, I guess this is what we're doing with our life right now. And we started very slowly. We started with 1 house every 6 weeks, done with the same love and care and tenderness that we did our first home with. And now in 2016, we've grown and we do 3 homes a week. We have a staff of 14. We have 12,000 square feet warehouse in Pontiac, Michigan. And we do every single home with the understanding that that family has input, and that family has dreams and desires that we need to address and pay attention to when designing their home. And that family gets that feeling of dignity and respect that our very first family did.
I urge everyone who's watching this to check out some of these videos, because you film and photograph every single home that you furnished. And to watch the transformation, to see those stories come to life, the direct impact immediately. And you can go there every day and see them again, sleeping and snuggling in their bed that they've never had. Some children who've never slept in a bed, and you're giving them the very first bed they've ever had. And I think some of your videos talk about how they get into bed every day when they come home from school, and that's like their safe zone. They feel home, and that's what you're doing, right? From homelessness to happiness. And so there's so many videos that you can watch to just learn more about it. And so why I was so interested not only in your mission, I wanted to dig deeper because you've scaled this from 2 girls in a pickup truck to local partnerships and sponsors, to now a national partnership with U-Haul that's going to allow you to be able to replicate this. And you've also spent a significant time, looking at how this is impacting the community and the amount of money that governments spend on a homeless family and the shelters and all of that. So tell me some of the math there and what your work is actually doing from a financial standpoint, so people know the impact or what this could do if we could do this on a larger scale.
So we were interested in our statistics because we were like, okay, this is great. We're hugging people, we're getting our arms around them, but are we really doing anything beyond a Band-Aid?
Right.
Furniture, is that just a Band-Aid? So we went back and we called and followed up with all of our 2014 clients and found out where they were. We do 156 families a year, so we track them down, and it turns out that without our help, approximately 46% of families who leave the shelters go back into that shelter or a different shelter within 12 months. Except, for our families, only 1% of those families had gone back into homelessness or into another shelter. So then we were like, what does that even mean?
Right.
So on HUD's website, which is a great resource for statistics, approximately $40,000 of taxpayers' money goes for emergency services for a homeless individual for a 1 year period. So that means emergency health care, emergency sheltering, emergency transitional housing, all these things that cost our government money. Well, by reducing those costs and keeping people in the homes where they are, in the same place we put them with the same furniture, we're cutting those costs for Michigan right now in particular by an enormous amount. So what we can do is we can replicate this in the cities with a large amount of a homeless population and large concentrated poverty, and really help the revolving door stop in some of these homeless shelters. It would be such a relief for some of these homeless shelters to not have, you know, 200 to 400 people on a waiting list to get in on any given night. And that's what we're really aiming to do, is alleviate that problem.
And it's doable, and you're proving it, and you're making it in one of the toughest cities in the United States, and making it a real thing. So I want to dig a little bit deeper into how you were able to scale this, because, you know, every dollar, I think you said it cost $2,500 to $3,000 to be able to give someone a home properly, with the team, with the moving trucks, with all the furniture, the 12,000 square foot storage space, and all the moving parts, the labor and everything to get this done is $2,500 to $3,000.
Right.
Which is just like, I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's also like not that much money to transform.
I mean, I'll give you $3,000, go into IKEA and see what you come out with. It's not that much stuff.
Right, right. And so it's a phenomenal concept, but you need bodies. You need people who not only have a place in their heart to want to support, but you need to be able to provide them with an income so that they can spend time doing this. And so you found something that worked really well, and you've been able to build on that, and that's what's gotten you from the very beginning, doing it out of your truck, out of the goodness of your heart, to a thriving, over $500,000 annual budget to just serve the same amount of people today. That's to be able to do this in other cities now. That's going to just, you know, expand. So tell me and tell us what you were able to discover that worked really well for you to be able to build and scale your nonprofit to be able to impact as many lives as you're doing.
So something that I always tell everybody when people ask me for advice on starting nonprofits or starting businesses, and I say, you know what, you need to ask for help. Every single person that I went in, I sat down in people's offices you wouldn't even believe gave me a meeting. But I would walk in there and I would sit down across from them and I'd say, I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help me? Did not get a no, because people are waiting to be asked. People have all this expertise and they're waiting to share it with others. And I just sat down across from people I knew who knew what they were doing, and I said, this is what I'm trying to do. Can you help? And they're like, yes, 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 yes. So what I tried to do was I tried to make a business that would work not only for the people we were serving, but for the people who are working there. I'm a mom. I understand at 3 o'clock, I want to go see my kids get out of school. I really want to be there for them. I created my entire job around that premise. I want to do the best I can do from 8:30 in the morning until 2:30 in the afternoon, and then I want to see my kids. I employ right now 13 women out of 14, no, I think we have 4 men on staff. But the majority of my staff is women. And the reason that it works for them is because I say to them, family is paramount. What we're doing together is really important. If you're not enjoying your job and you're not enjoying your family, we're doing it wrong. We're doing this wrong. And so there's an open dialogue in the office. When I hired my very first hire was my nanny. So she was my babysitter, and I was like, wow, you're a way overqualified babysitter. And so she started running my moves and doing my pickups. And so now she's the COO of the company. But she's amazing. But just like, again, sometimes women, their only options when they have a little kid at home is like babysitting for other people during the day and bringing their kid with them or something. And she's a college graduate. And that was what her options were at the time. So we have opened up our doors to women and men, but who have this balancing act that they want to do. They want to also be a good parent, and they want to be a good employee, and they want to help service their community.
And maybe they've been out of the workforce for several years with their kids, and now they're trying to transition back. So you're leveraging, right? And you mentioned that to me earlier about how many of these individuals have been out of the workforce for 5-10 years, had their expertise in interior design or in graphic design and advertising, and now they're coming in.
Right. And they're behind, you go into an advertising agency after being out for 10 years, that's a hard hire to make. But yeah, a lot of the people working in my organization are working to be able to stay in the business and stay relevant, and also go home feeling fantastic. You see one of these reveals, like I have tough days, trust me, at the nonprofit, I've got tough days. And when I kind of lose my way a little bit, I go down to one of the houses again and watch the family come home. We have what's called a reveal, and then we ask the family to leave. We do everything in one day. We design the whole house, bring all the furniture in, all the decor, and then we ask them to come home. And when they come home and they cry and we cry and we hug, and I go back completely energized and 100% positive that this is what I'm supposed to do, even if it's hard, like I go back more energized than I was at the beginning. So a lot of our employees are looking for that as well. They want to have that connection to the community. They want to feel good about what they're doing, and they want to make a fair wage. I don't think that that's an inappropriate ask. So when I ask for money from the community to help fund it, that's really what I have in the back of my brain, that this needs to be a fair opportunity for everyone.
And how you've been able to, I mean, I know there's many different ways that revenue is coming in, but the way that you've structured your reveals. So you're basically doing 3 extreme home makeovers a week.
A week!
I mean, it's incredible, right? You're almost at your 700th house. Mm-hmm. And you film every one of these reveals. And so this is giving you that, because you've humanized and you've allowed the opportunity for other people to be a part of this story, you've been able to generate and get the support from the community and from sponsors who are saying, hey, let me donate this, let me provide this, financial or furniture or whatever it may be, because and it's the direct work of these, women primarily within your organization, men too, who have been able to leverage that to get more dollars, which pays their salary.
Isn't that incredible? They do a good job, and then they get paid, through their job. We basically film their job, and they do a great job, and they make a real connection with the family, and then those videos in turn help us raise funds. The other thing I also have to say about the hard work and dedication is all of our designers make individual pieces for the family with the kids' names on it. They craft for the family. They get so involved, and then they bring volunteers down who normally wouldn't go down into Detroit. Normally these people are writing checks and sort of distancing themselves from what's really going on. Trust me, we love checks too. But to really get the people from this community to go down into this community and look people in the eye, make a real connection, is something that not a lot of nonprofits are doing, but it's so fantastic and rewarding, and people get addicted. We have 600 volunteers who come over and over and over again to help us organize a warehouse, do these decoration days. It's really fun.
So just that's how you've been able to keep everybody engaged, right, at every single level, and giving an opportunity for building flexibility into the platform, balance being a fundamental value of the organization. And people who have a strong desire to want to change the future for some other family, right, and have a direct connection to that. And that being the foundation of your principles, you've been able to leverage and give them the opportunity to refine their skills, even if they've been out of the workforce for 5-10 years, coming back at a flexible schedule. Now they can work for you, and then they have the skills again to go back to
exactly. They don't have to work for me forever.
Right.
They can work for a couple of years until they want to go back full time somewhere, and that does happen. It happens quite often.
So such an interesting way to, so a lot of individuals are saying, I want to give everything I can, so you can and still generate revenue.
Yes.
Just have to be creative around how we engage everybody in that process. I think that's really the secret sauce that you've been able to build in from day one. Right.
And building a job that you like. If people who work for me don't like what they're doing, they're able to move and adjust into other areas that they do like. But you have to be honest, and you have to come and say, I don't really love picking up the phone and doing this and planning the moves. Can I try my hand at design or doing this? Or I don't love going down to the houses. Can I help in the warehouse? We've moved people around,
right,
so they can
a rotation. I bet
they can find something that they love to do. And so speaking up and making sure you're the right fit, because if you hate what you do, you're not going to do a good job at it. That's not good for the company. It's not good for me. It's not good for the people we're servicing.
So now we're stepping into the next phase, because so U-Haul is now their sponsor. They are matching $50,000.
Yep.
So if anybody is hearing the story and thinking, I want to be involved in some way, there are now a huge opportunity to be involved in so many other ways. Whether it's donations or whether it's physical, physically wanting to be a part of the organization, because now you're going to other cities.
Yeah, and you can be a part of it. There's a little thing that you can fill out if you wanted to come to your city and you want to be involved. There's a little form that you can fill out on our website, and we'd love to contact you.
It's humbledesign.org.
That's right, humbledesign.org, and we have right now a donation page up because U-Haul is matching up to $50,000 today, so we're really excited about that.
Well, I want to thank you for spending your valuable time with me today, and I hope that everyone here was able to really see a different side, right? It's leveraging our strengths and our natural abilities to impact the future for so many others, and you can really create and design your life for whatever's right for you. And you've been able to, because that was what you needed for yourself, and you were able to replicate that now for 14 other individuals, but now even more.
Hopefully hundreds and hundreds of others across the country, and then thousands of the families, single moms, that we can change their lives as well.
So humbledesign.org is the website. I'm Shavon Lindley. We have been here with Treger Strasberg.
Thank you.
And humbledesign.org, get involved. If you have any other questions, feel free to put it into the comments, because we are going to be answering anything that you have that you want to. Afterwards, we'll do a Q&A as well for any questions that you have here. So thanks so much for joining us. You're Shavon Lindley TV, and we'll see you next time. Make sure and like the page so you'll be notified first the next time we have one of our live Facebook interviews here with me. All right, thanks so much.